so good. I don't know what I'd do without you.
All right, Shamier, how you doing? Where you at these days?
What's going on? I'm good, man. I'm in Toronto right now for a little bit. So I'm just hanging out here, seeing some family, some friends. You know, summertime in Toronto is always a vibe. So I'm trying to soak it up. I haven't had a Toronto summer in like 2 years because I've been on the road so much. So it's gonna be my first summer in 2 years, and I feel like, COVID as well. That was a write-off for everybody. So I'm really happy to be back. I made it a point to stay home in Toronto and reconnect with everybody and see everybody.
Are you going to Carabana this year?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Happening the same weekend as Veld. I don't know if you know Veld. It's like the big festival, and I'm going to be DJing some stuff that weekend, and Caravana's happening that weekend, so it's going to be a busy time.
DJ, you a DJ?
Yeah, man, I DJ.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah.
that
I
look.
do that.
That's one of my goals in life, man. To be a DJ, man. That's what's up, bro. I know you be having the club and the parties rocking, man.
I
I
love
ain't gonna lie.
music. I ain't no rapper, I ain't no singer, but I could definitely command the room on the ones and twos on the CDJs. So 100%.
Facts.
That's
Okay.
dope. That's dope. Go ahead, TDF. What were you going to ask him earlier?
Oh no, I was gonna ask him about Carabana, man, because I only been to one Carabana, and that was last year, and it's definitely a scene, man. And I'm if you're gonna be DJing though, I might need to know
Yeah,
the
100%.
spots, man. Come out there
Doing
and
a little
support.
private party on Friday. I'll definitely send you guys all the deets. It's my debut in Toronto. I've been DJing for like 10 years now. A lot of people don't know that. And so sometimes I'll do like the after parties for my movies, or I'll do like the after parties for like friends or that type of thing. I've never really gone out public or like and really monetize it in that way. And this is the first year where I just kind of decided that I was ready to show that side of me, and I'm being supported. I have a lot of stuff that I've been putting together. So that's going to be my debut weekend. I'm going to be performing at some stuff, but I'm excited for the world to see what I do on the ones.
That's dope.
What got you into DJing though? Because I know, just from when we were at the game together, I know you like to party, man. I know you a wild boy. But what really got you into
It's a
DJing?
great question. So I actually used to be a dancer, believe it or not. And so I used to do break dancing, right?
No.
And so I was a b-boy, popping and locking. Only the ones that really know, what my alias was, where my old stomping ground was, my old cruise. And obviously I don't do that anymore. You guys are physical guys. You understand the body has its limits.
Yeah.
Spinning on your head and doing those things is not conducive to my career right now. So that all comes from a place of loving music and what music can do for you. And so it was really important for me to continue that passion outside of dance. And that's why I started DJing, because I just love music, mashing up songs, making remixes. I'm from the Caribbean. My parents are Jamaican. So for me, it's a big influence, a big part of my life. And I said, how could I keep this going? And so I decided to start DJing, about like 10 plus years ago.
Man, I love that. And before we dive too far into this, because we're getting into the nitty gritty a little bit, I just want to introduce you, and I wanted to say welcome to our listeners to another interview with the Athlete Show. Today we have a very special guest. Shout out to DeVaris for setting this up. Actor, philanthropist, just most importantly, just a great person. Shamier Anderson. Happy to have you on the show. You were diving in a little bit about your music background. I think I read, is your DJ name DJ Sham God? Is that the official name?
Yeah. That's. I just go by Shamier Anderson, but after certain hours, there's certain liquor in the system, you calling me Sham God. Everyone has their thing. For cold,
Yeah.
Mambo mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, it's when I go into that witching hour, they call me Sham God. But yes, the short answer is that's what the streets call me, Sham God.
That's dope. Hey, man, we got DJ Highcam right here. We're trying to get him out there, so hopefully he'll be on your level sometime soon. But no, that's dope. And you're talking about your background as far as being Jamaican, and I'm Guyanese. My family's from the Caribbean as well. What has that kind of how has that played into your life and just kind of things that have influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's from, the African diaspora, specifically the Caribbean, you understand that music and culture is a big part of your makeup. the way you dress, the way you speak, the food you eat, the music you listen to. It really is a part of my DNA. It's kind of something where, it's just a part of me. I come from a family that's, I call them, like FOB, fresh off the boat. You know what I mean? They're really, really Jamaican, to the point where sometimes if you're at certain family functions, you probably need subtitles. When movies like Shatta's X the Violence, just the culture, that's really my family. Those are my uncles, those are my aunts, those are my cousins. And so, it's a part of the reason why I'm in the arts, because, Caribbean people are very expressive, and I would say Jamaican people, speaking as a Jamaican, are very expressive people. And so it's influenced everything I do. It's influenced the colors I wear. Ironically enough, I'm wearing green, you know what I'm saying? And I just think it's a big part of who I am, and I wear it proudly, and I love it.
I love that.
That's so crazy, because like growing up, like Jawan grew up in Canada, you're Canadian as well. Like me and Cam, we don't know where we from. We're from America. Like, it's a totally different thing, but we definitely understand the vibe and the culture.
What are your guys' countries that you rep though?
Yeah. What do you rep?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I did the little 23andMe thing, man. I had to find out, man. I was itching to find out what I was. So I'm Nigerian and Sierra Leone.
Okay. Listen, I ain't never did the 23andMe, but I did. JB, I don't know if it was your cousin. What happened, man? I had a texture of hair. This guy told me where I was from. Where I was from, I can't remember.
Cameroon.
Cameroon. So, Cameroon, that's Cam. So.
I find like Americans are always like, where you from? And it's like the same answer. JB, you ever get that? Like, it's just like, I'm from, and with Canadians say, what's your background? They're like, oh yeah, Jamaican or Guyanese, or, it's definitely, as we all play on different sides of the ponds, it's just like, even when I'm in LA, it's like, yeah, where are you from? What's your background? What you mean? I'm from LA. I'm from Compton. I'm from this. I'm from that.
That's it.
Yeah.
They
get offended.
Yeah. I have my moments sometimes, you mixing the liquors, you get sometimes offended, but hey, we all come from, the same, honestly, but it's good to have a background, know where you're coming from, for sure.
It's facts. My bad, DeVars. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. I was just, man, admiring your guys' knowledge of your background. But question I had for you is, I saw you kickboxing one time on Instagram. I see you got a little kickboxing background. I know JB was talking about, what's it called, JB?
Wing Chun Kung Fu. Is that what it was?
Yeah, man. Tell me about all that, man, because I'll be watching.
Thanks, man. So it's actually Muay Thai.
Okay.
Yeah, Muay Thai and Wing Chun. So Muay Thai is, a martial art. It's based in Thailand. They utilize all their weapons, from knees, arms, elbows, fists, everything. But for me, beyond the combative sport, it's therapy for me. I'm sure people, when they see folks on the field, they're like, man, it's so aggressive, But I know y'all are going out on the field going, I want to smash that guy's head in. Or maybe there's elements of that, but it's more so it's a sport, it's a passion, right? And I think for me, it's the same thing. And so I've been doing Muay Thai for God knows how long. I've been doing Wing Chun, which is a Kung Fu, which is more technical, more on the, I use an umbrella term. It's not the same, but just for the listeners and viewers watching, like Tai Chi in a sense, it's more technical, it's more Zen. And so I got Muay Thai, which is more combative, the pads, the sweat, and then Wing Chun, which is also a combat sport, but, a lot more technical. And so I've always had a fascination for martial arts, man. I've always loved that. But honestly, in the social media world and, my life is on display to a certain degree through my art. And like, it's something more that I do for myself. And then, you record a video, drop it online, and people are like, damn, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's really more so I just love it, man. It's my everyday practice. Every day I'm up in the morning hitting the bags. It's just a part of my routine. So people drink coffee, I just hit pads. I hit the bags,
Thanks, man.
When did you start that? Did it come from like a childhood? Like what really sparked that interest in the kickboxing?
Man, to be real, Power Rangers, bro. I love Power Rangers.
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Which one? Which Ranger? Though?
Don't get me started. I am a Power Ranger fanatic.
Okay.
Whether it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, Power Rangers Speed Rescue. Like I keep going, but Walter Jones, that's my shit. Excuse my language.
Okay. You're good.
You're good.
You good.
Yeah, I love Power Rangers. And then I don't know if you remember this movie, and now I'm gonna date myself. Three Ninjas. Remember that movie,
Oh
Three Ninjas?
yeah, yeah,
Rocky,
yeah.
Tum Tum, and Cole. And so,
Hmm.
like, it was like a movie about three ninjas, and I had two brothers. So we always, as the three of us, were like, I was Rocky, my other brothers were Tum Tum, and Cole. And so I just love kung fu movies, man. Jackie Chan, Rumble in the Bronx. Like, I'm nostalgic. So all that stuff, I was just like, I want to do that. Mom, let me do that. And so she just thrown me in lessons, and I always say if I wasn't an actor, I'd probably be in like MMA or some shit, to be honest. But that's your question, Tavares. Like, the origin of that is through movies. And then I've been doing it ever since I was a kid, man.
That's what's up,
So
bro.
that kind of fits perfectly into your character in John Wick 4,
Mhm.
Mr. Nobody. Um, like when you got that role, or if you audition, I'm not sure how it goes because I've never auditioned or I've never been an actor. When that opportunity presented itself, were you like, I need to have this, like I need this role?
Mm. So, interestingly enough, and usually for big movies like that, they'll have you audition, you'll do screen tests, which essentially just means you dressing up, cameras in a studio, it's a whole thing. And I've auditioned for a bunch of stuff. And this is the one job where I just got a call from my agent. And he said, hey, listen, there's this project, you may know, it's called John Wick 4. Well, John Wick, they're doing a fourth installment, and the director wants to meet. So I said, what's the catch? He's like, there's no catch. He just wants to meet. So we got on a Zoom, similar to this. I was in the gym doing Muay Thai, funny enough, because he was in Germany and the time zone's only allowed for this window. And I'm like, I ain't missing my training, so he's going to have to meet me in the gym. So he met me in the gym. We did a Zoom in the gym. And he's just like, hey, man, I got this script. You know, there's a role called Tracker. If you respond to it, let me know. And the part's yours. And that was it.
Damn.
It was like
Dang.
that, you know. And just to illustrate it a bit more, he didn't just pick a name out of the hat. Like he did his due diligence. And I think because of my fight background, because of the work that I've done on previous movies, and just given how powerful that man is, given such a successful franchise, being a part of it, he was confident, which speaks to his ability. Because, you know, sometimes we be put through, you know, the ringer to get opportunities in life. And I really admire people that just have the kahunas to be like, nah, that's my guy, or nah, that's my gal. I want that person. And so
Yeah.
I rate him because he didn't have to do that. I could have auditioned. They could have given it to somebody who had a bigger name than me, but he just, you know, banked on the talent, which is very rare nowadays. There's so much politics. And he said, no, I want Shamier Anderson. And that was it, man.
Damn, that must have been a great feeling. Interesting enough, I actually just listened to a podcast episode with the director of John Wick, Chad Stileski. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Stileski?
Jess Selesky.
And it seems like in all the past John Wicks, he has taken the same approach of getting people that maybe like other people aren't really thinking about, and they've been bang on with who they cast in those movies. And your character was great.
Thank you.
So I feel like you were the perfect person for that role. And it's kind of cool, like hearing how he goes about doing stuff. And he was talking about Halle Berry, and I think she was in number 2 or 3, I can't remember.
Mhm.
But he talked about the rigorous training, and you had a dog in your role.
Yeah.
Did you have to like train the dog and everything? Because he was saying that Halle Berry had to basically train both her dogs and from puppies, and they were basically her dogs. What was that process like preparing for that role?
Yes, not too dissimilar. I had dogs, which were Belgian Malinois, arguably probably the smartest breed of dogs. And think of it like, you know, they're just the Ferrari of cars. They're faster, they're stronger, they're smarter. And I had about 6 of them. And why we had about 6 or 7 of them? Because, you know, we always want to be protective of the animals. So all of them look the same. And each dog would perform a different trick. So one would bite, one would jump, you know, one would bark. And I had to train with them. And so, yeah, I had to, you know, spend a lot of time with them. I walked with them. I spent days with them, hours with them, and working and understanding their intricacies, their nuances. And my process, I'm very immersive. I really, you know, I just spend as much time as I could with the pups. And on set, nobody could go near them because they're still vicious animals. I always tell people, like, actors know they're acting, directors know they're directing. Dogs are just dogs.
Yeah.
They don't even know if it's a movie set. They're just like, if you say or do the wrong thing, and they have commands. And if you wear colors, once again, if you wore like green on set, good luck, buddy. That's it. You're done. You know, like there's just certain
Damn.
of them. Yeah. They're real, like they're real combat animals. They're like
Yeah.
you you couldn't just hang out with them like this. You know what I mean? They'd be losing their mind, but they're very, very trained in all the right ways.
I've seen videos of those dogs.
So-
They're
so-
super athletic.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Those are real
Yeah,
dogs.
man, real life dogs.
I thought, bro, I'm thinking the whole time it's
No,
like
no,
CGI.
no.
Like,
Everything
ain't
you
no
see,
way
the
this
dogs
is-
are really doing all that stuff.
So
Wow, bro.
the
ain't no
stunts and
way.
the fighting is also pretty much real. Like you did your own, or what? Or how did that come?
I did all my own
about?
stunts. I did
Oh,
all my
man.
own stunts.
I knew it. I can tell, man. I ain't mean to cut you off. I could tell because you was fighting a different way. You was fighting like really fighting, you know. And John Wick was he do his thing, but I'm like, nah, Mr. Nobody is fighting.
Yeah,
For
I
sure,
gotta get
man.
fired. I have to really show these guys I had. I'm like, listen, you're not gonna think you've hired the wrong guy, you know. But nah, I really went for it, man.
Dang, that's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks, man.
That's crazy. So going from, and we're gonna talk about. I know we're gonna talk about the movie, but we
Yeah.
a sports show, so like, getting to the sports side of it, growing up and how this all came about. Because we had a conversation at the Maple Leafs game, and you mentioned pinball. And for those who don't know, pinball is the general manager of the Toronto Argonauts and a Toronto, Ontario legend. To put it in perspective on how crazy of a person, like, I'm not gonna say crazy of a person, but how big of a name this is. Pinball was a running back for the Toronto Argonauts. Okay. In the middle of the season, they said, we don't want you to play running back no more. We want you to be the head coach of the team. We need a head coach, pinball. We're gonna give you the spot. He took the team, took it to a championship,
so,
right, JP?
yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like, this, ain't no, bro. That's
Bill
some
Russell.
storybook movies type stuff. But growing up in Scarborough, and you told me you met pinball. Tell me about that story, how that all came about, because clearly that has taken you to heights that you probably have, had never seen for yourself.
Yeah. Pinball Clemens, Michael Clemens, Mr. Clemens was game changing for me in my life. Just to zoom out and go back for a second, I was born and raised in Scarborough. For those of you who know or don't know, it's a community housing project in Bay Mill. So Scarborough's filled with a lot of immigrants, would deem it as a marginalized community. And so I lived in the projects. And Pinball Clemens, when I was about maybe I want to say 11 years old, 10 years old, if not younger, came to my community and he met with me. He met with a couple kids and he brought us to a basketball game. He brought us to a Raptors game back when Junkyard Dog was on the team. JYD. And it was incredible. And we met VC as well, Vince Carter. And he just, from programs, I remember I was a dancer, funny enough, and I danced at his wife's wedding or surprise birthday party. He had me do a performance, and that was the first time I got paid for something, in the arts. And just little things here or there were at the time just felt like, yo, who's this rich ass small F, you know what I'm saying? Just helping me out. Little did I know he was really showing us in a graceful way, in an elegant way, that there were more beyond the four walls that I lived in. And at the time, I would have never thought I'd be in the position that I'm at today. And I give that man so much gratitude. And, if anyone who meets him just knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's just salt to the earth. And he's been a real big impact because he was the first black man that I met that I was able to touch, be able to see that made it. Right. And my mom has all the articles of us together and all the things that we've done, back in the day. And I really give a big part of my success to him. Not necessarily that he, put two and two together and got me to Hollywood or whatever that may be, but just more the mindset of, philanthropy and giving back, and the importance of that. And so that was really, I hold him dear to me. We may not talk every day, may not talk in a year, but I know when I call him or see him, it's so much love. And, I got a lot of respect and a lot of admiration for him and the Clemens family. And so, yeah, he's just one of those figures that was a beacon for me of what an example is, being a black man, and then being able to, amplify success and excellence.
And that's exactly what pinball does. I had the opportunity to actually work for him and his nonprofit during COVID, and you see a lot of the positive impact that he has on a lot of people's lives. And you kind of touched on the impact that it had on you as far as the philanthropic side of things. Kind of share like what you're doing in the philanthropy side of things, helping out Black actors and everything like that, because it seems like you're doing a lot and at a young age too.
Yeah. I always, for me, I love what I do, but I love the community that I come from, and knowing that I've come from, the projects, Scarborough, and knowing that I didn't have examples. It was important for me not just to do it, but to come back home and to show individuals that it was possible. So through that, my brother and I started a not-for-profit called Black, which is building a legacy in acting, cinema, and knowledge. And a division of that is the Black Academy. And just recently, we launched the first ever Black Award show in Canada, nationally broadcast on television, celebrating Black excellence, Canadian Black excellence. And this is our second year going into it. Last year, we had Andre DeGrasse, we had Kayla Gray honored. It was, and many others. It's the first of its kind in this country. My brother and I are executive producers and the creators of it. And, it was just to be able to extend our platform, to share that platform with others. Really and truly, it just comes from a place of love and excitement for others, people that have paved the way for us, people that we look up to, people that deserve their flowers right now. I think what you guys are doing is so incredible, to be able to come together and create this community where you're able to have conversations, beyond being on the field or the court or wherever have you. And I think these things are so important, and we don't get enough credit as Black people, Black men specifically. And so Steph and I, we're able to go through certain doors that others can't. So wherever it can work, that's why we started the Academy and why we started the award show. And listen, I'm the first to say it. I'm not a corporate guy. I'm not a not-for-profit guy. I just happen to run these things, own these things, and I'm learning. But it's about the vision, right? And it's extending that vision into other areas to ultimately just, it sounds cheesy, but really make the world, and I say the world, but the community a better place. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, none of this stuff happened. And it comes from a real, genuine place that just wanting to give that back in a way that hopefully can impact at least one person.
And what was the process like for you as a young Black male in Canada that was aspiring to be an actor? Was there a lot of trials and tribulations? Is that what led to you starting what you did, and you just wanting to kind of open more doors for young Black actors in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, there were just very little examples. I think that was number one. I think, complementary to our U.S. counterparts, but as Canadians, there really isn't any Canadians doing what we're doing, right? And being able to say I'm an actor, like in the U.S., we got Denzel, we got Portier, we got Morgan Freeman, we got all these individuals, but just really keeping it grassroots for a second. We got Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, James Cameron, Seth Rogen, like all these people, and we're like, but where's our people? The ones that look like me, that come from where I come from. So that was number one. Number two, yes, there was a ton of trial and tribulations. I mean, we live in a systemic racist world, let alone a business that perpetuates that stuff. So I was going up for them gangbanging roles. I was, playing all that stuff. And so it was definitely tough. Had to go into the US, figure it out, and then come back home and then be like, wow, like there's more to these walls. So it's an ongoing process, and I'll be the first to say it as well. Like, as much as people can look at me and say, oh, you've made it, I feel like there's so much more work to be done. But I do recognize, where I was, where I'm at, and where I'm going, right? And I call it the 5-year challenge. Like 5 years ago, my life was real different. We'll go 5 years again, 5 years again, so that kind of helps me take a second and breathe in where I'm at and celebrate my small wins. And so, and that's something I do recognize, that my life is in a very different place, a privileged place, but there's definitely more work to be done.
Yeah, that's real.
That's deep.
Yeah, man.
Great knowledge, man. Hey, man, believe it or not, last year, I actually ran into this lady at a Raptors game. And her son's name was Jet. And if you, I got a son, his name is Jet as well. So we kind of bonded over that. But she has him in acting and doing commercials and all that stuff. And she was like, you got the face to be an actor. I'm like, all right, yeah, man, I might try it out. But honestly, I don't think that role is.
Why not? Why not, man? Why not?
Man, because honestly, like for me, I'm kind of monotone. Like this is my tone at all times.
Voice,
like
that
I don't know how
sultry
to.
vibe, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm really like a radio guy, if anything. But I want to ask: is there, when it comes to acting, when it comes to getting prepared and all that, is there like a routine that you do, or is there like some superstitions? I know Cam had hella superstitions when he played, but I'm wondering like what's the process of waking up and getting ready to do that scene?
Damn. So I think it just kind of varies depending on the job, but like the short answer is you have like your vocal warm ups. You know what I mean? Similar to like what you'd warm up on the field. You got your physical warm up. What does that look like? I stretch too before I go into a scene. For inspiration, I actually don't watch a lot of movies. I actually watch documentaries because I'm portraying real people and actors are acting. So I try to watch, if I'm playing a role, like for example, Tracker and a dog, I'm looking at people with relationships with animals. I don't want to watch, I Am Legend, although I love that movie. But like, I'm like, how do I get even more of a real experience of what that actually is? So I'll just like dive into different places and spaces that I'm unfamiliar with. But sometimes I'll go over the deep end. Like I played a Compton gangster once in a movie called City of Lies with Johnny Depp and Forrest Whitaker. It was a cool movie where I played a Paru, a blood. And so I'm obviously not a blood. I'm not from Compton, Bompton, as they would say if you're a blood. And so I actually went over there. I lived in Bompton. I rocked with real guys from Bompton. I was like, I really locked in. I'll see if I can pull up a photo. Like, I really switch it up just to like, really dive in and get the most authentic experience for myself. One, so I don't F it up and someone's like, that guy's fake, and then two, I just think it's like an exploratory process, just being able to explore and do that and live that life and seeing what truth I can bring to the camera so it doesn't feel phony. My whole thing is like, how do I not be phony or try to be truthful when I'm playing these roles? And so that's what I did. Shout out to the community over there that invited me in. I got to see some stuff I'd never seen before, experience some stuff I've never experienced. And it was life changing. But here's it at me. Hard to see, but that's me in the middle.
Oh wow!
Yeah, in the middle right there. That's
how long ago was that?
That was posters on my wall. That was like back in 2017, 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like my first big gig. I didn't want to mess it up. I played DMAC. It was a real person.
DMAC.
No,
Yeah,
I definitely
check
gotta
that out.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
check
let me
that
know
one
what y'all
out.
think.
for sure.
It's very different. I was in a different bag back then, bro. I was hungry.
So I don't know if it's true or not, but when you hear a lot about you hear a lot about actors, actresses getting ready to play roles and fully submerging themselves into that role, and they say like some actors, actresses don't come out of that role for a certain period of time. Is that actually true? Like, we've seen Heath Ledger as the Joker, and we've seen him riding down the street with his skateboard and the face paint on. You hear all these stories, whether it's true or not. He's not here to defend himself. But that role was iconic. I don't know if anybody will play the Joker better than him again. Is that something that actors and actresses actually go through?
I think
Will Smith slapped
Sitting
the
in?
mess out of Chris Rock.
Say Will Smith. Will Smith slapped.
Will Smith slapped the mess out of Chris Rock. Man. It's real.
Nah. I mean, listen, man, to each is their own. Everybody has their own experiences. But, for me, I mean, listen, man, we got a job to do. I would say the media, is a hyperbole within itself and everything is blown up.
Yeah.
But the reality is most of these cats, and I've worked with a lot of them, blessed knock on wood, I've been able to really work with a lot of them. They go home and they make their millions, man. They're chilling. You know what I'm saying? I think these guys do bring the work at home in a duration. They kill it. They go hard. But that stuff fizzles away. I would say this, though. There are elements of you that you keep with you. So speaking from experience, playing DMAC, I've learned the intricacies of gang culture, beyond what the media tells about. But this is about loyalty. It's priceless. You know what I'm saying? kill or be killed. But what does that actually mean, though? You understand? Defending your family, the empathy that comes with being a gangster. That gangsters don't even consider themselves gangsters. They just consider them individuals fighting for their purpose and their cause. So you take away things like that, and so that's the stuff that I think lives with me personally. But as for like the gimmicky stuff, like, oh, he's still the Joker, that I don't really believe all that, and I do believe that, you probably have a rough time going back to bed because you've seen a bunch of explosions for the past couple of months. John Wick, those schedules are crazy. It was night shoots. So when I was off that movie, I was still shaking a bit from all the explosion and fake gunfire and, all the dog bites. But I'm sure when you get tackled on the field, you probably feel it maybe a day or two later because just, it is what it is, But it's just, I don't think it's as crazy as they make it out to be, in my humble opinion. But I will say people do commit to the work. That's real. People do lock the fuck in and stay there. Like Daniel Day-Lewis in when he played Lincoln, and Lincoln, like he really was Lincoln for that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of preparation. It's similar to us. Like people think we just show up on game day and you just play. We watch film, we lift weights, massage, chiro, acupuncture, practice like before the game. So it's very similar to being an athlete. And just like that, like as an athlete, most guys' goals are to win a championship. Most guys' goals are to go to Hall of Fame. Certain statistics. For you as an actor, what is that Hall of Fame for you? Like, what is like that I made it? Like, what is your end goal as an actor?
These are great questions, man. You guys are killing it, man. You guys are just so amazing.
Appreciate you.
I've been on so many things, and I hate interviews, and I love how this feels right now, man. You guys are just
appreciate it.
A1, Sterling, gold standards for sure. But to answer your question, bro, man. It's a very good, deep question because you would think coming into this, when I thought, it was the Oscars and the awards and all that stuff, and not to sound jaded, but just knowing the perspective that I have now, it's not something I really strive for that much anymore. When I was younger, I was like, I want to get an Oscar, da-da-da. And I think the real ones, and when I say real ones, I mean the folks that have really been doing this, I don't think they really reach for those things the same way they used to. Mind you, if I got nominated tomorrow for an award or one of my accomplishments, I'd be grateful. I'd receive it. I'd take it. But then I'd keep it pushing. Why? Some may ask. Is because at the core of it, I love performing. I love storytelling. I love it so much. I really, really love it. And I can't speak to other professions and other verticals, but, I know folks that have won Oscars and they haven't had a career since. You know what I mean? The game is crazy like that. And so I just love performing. I love acting. I love making movies. And that's what excites me. My gold standard, my trophy is working with my heroes. You know what I mean? I got to work this past summer with Robert De Niro. Like that's a gold standard for me. That's like, wow, I shared the screen with De Niro. At the time it was, Johnny Depp and Forrest, Keanu Reeves. Like those are to me, I don't like even I haven't had a trophy yet, so I don't know what that feels like. And maybe at that time things will change. But just knowing that material things don't really move me the same way. I can get paid $1 and I still show. I've been paid like minimum wage, equivalent in our industry for some of these movies I've done because I truly love, what I'm doing. So I think for me, as long as I get to keep hitting that mark and then performing between action and cut, that's honestly what excites me, man, really and truly. And hey, if a couple chips come down the way, as long as I got some dips on my chip, I'm happy. You know what I mean?
Oh, the award's coming. I promise you, bro. You killed that
I appreciate that, man.
They coming, man.
Thank you.
I promise. Big sports fan. Are you a sports fan? What's your go-to, like football, basketball? I know the finals going on right now.
I know the finals. Oh man! So my brother, he's a real sports guy. Like I'm a sports guy, but he's like real basketball. For me, I love ball. I watch ball. Right now, I love Canadians. So I'm rooting for Jamal right now because that's my thing. And obviously when the Raptors won, I was always a Raptors fan. I wasn't a Raptors fan after the championship or the last week.
People don't believe us when we say that. Like I remember some bad teams, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, all good, man, all good. But yeah, man. That's I love sport. I love what I love more about sports, to be honest, is the competitive nature you guys have. Like athletes, superhuman. If there's classes of mentality for humans, athletes I take everything out of my acting, the business of acting, out of athletes. You know what I mean? I love the fact that when you go to a game, there's only one winner and one loser. Like it's so It's just what it is. It's just black and white. And I think in the arts, it's subjective. You know, your feelings and opinions. And with sports, is like if you lose, you lose. That's it. You know what I mean? And I can really appreciate that. You know, it's survival of the fittest to a degree.
Did you? We're football players. Did you ever put the pads on and try and play football?
For a couple movies, I can't even lie. You know,
Okay.
For a couple movies, I have some footage too. I got game film too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Game film too. You know, but nah, man, I would love to get on the field. I would say, given the little experience I have, I'm fast and I'm pretty strong. So there was like a wide receiver, maybe. You know, that's kind of the vibe. Yeah. So that's kind of And Joshua Palmer is a homie. Y'all know Joshua Palmer?
Yeah. Receiver from Canada.
Yeah.
Plays for the Chargers.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would get advice from him, you know, here and there sometimes, and he's a beast, in my opinion.
Facts.
That's dope. Now, top 5. I want to ask, man, because we ain't gonna take up too much more of your time, but top 5. I'll say 5. Yeah, that's a good number. Top 5 actors that you've acted with. I don't know how else to say that.
Top 5 that I've worked with.
There you go.
Okay. First, what I work with is Nicole Kidman. Actually, interesting enough, Nicole Kidman. She's a beast. I did a movie called Destroyer with her. Halle Berry. Halle Berry, that was in every aspect. Directing and starring a movie called Bruise that I did with her. Bruiser. She was amazing. Halle. And then the other one would be, and I think about this because a lot of these people are assholes, to be honest. I try to forget them if I'm being real. Donnie Yen, you know, Donnie Yen and John Wick, and Keanu, you know, those guys.
Is that who played Kane?
You played Kane, yeah.
Cold.
Donnie's cold. Donnie is cold, man.
Yeah.
He is cold.
Yeah,
man. And then the other, it's tough because you said 5, so one more. I'll probably have to say, damn, man. I was going to say De Niro. Yeah, man. De Niro. Yeah. It was a quick.
It's a solid list.
Yeah,
no, that's solid. For
crazy.
Sure.
Yeah, it's crazy that I've actually shared the screen with the people that I'm even saying right now. It's nuts.
That's the blessing right there. Like you said, the accolades, the trophies don't matter, but like just those top 5 names, you probably have 5 more. Like that's amazing. But we have to nerd out a little bit because I'm going back to John Wick, the movie, because I watched all of them. The series starts because this guy's dog dies, you know, he gets killed and he just goes on a rampage, and now we're at the 4th movie. And for them to go 4 movies in with this with John Wick, and for the 4th one to be great, like that was crazy. And I have to know, like, how long was the stuntman throwing his body down the stairs for during that scene? Because this man was rolling for about like 2 minutes.
Yes, you got to give me guess. What do you think? And then I'll give you the answer. What do you think? How long? How many hours?
What I got? Okay, was it one take?
He said hours. He said hours.
No,
so
you said one take?
Bars.
No. There's no way. I'm gonna say you probably did it maybe like 10.
Okay, you got 10 bars. You?
5. I say about 15 takes,
okay, cool, 5 hours. Okay,
I say I got to go higher then. So about 35.
35. Okay, you're all wrong. Try days.
He was throwing his body down
days. That whole sequence probably took us, and all the fandoms are going to probably like critique me on it. I think like about a week or so. It was more than a couple of days. Yeah, that whole sequence was like at least 2 weeks. Yeah, like it was a lot.
No.
So how long? Hold on. So how long do it take to film a full movie?
This movie took about a year.
For one scene?
What? I did not know that.
It's about from start to finish. I'm talking like pre-pro to like pre-production, which is like the prep, the rehearsals, all the way to like cut. Probably like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, probably a year.
I didn't know
That's
that.
Yeah. So yeah, those guys, 8711 is the stunt company, which is a stunt crew, and they are the best in the business. And those guys, man, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw it online, but Keanu bought everybody Rolexes. He bought all the stunt guys Rolexes. And now you understand why.
had to. Had to after that, yeah.
The
Y'all get like half time, like a month off, like a break.
And they get paid the
it's
big bucks, man, to keep doing it again and again. And I guess me asking y'all this: you guys get tackles for a living. What are you talking
Yeah, yeah.
It's only 18 weeks though. It ain't, you know.
feels like 18 months.
about?
So
Yeah.
you say years. You know, like I know Hollywood is testing the waters with this CGI AI stuff that they can get basically somebody a AI that looks just like you to do the stunts. How do you feel about that? I seen it on the news and I was like, bruh,
I know it's so crazy you ask that because, like, what comes to mind, I'm like, man, they already got like Avatar. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like it's already going into that direction. Video games are almost like movies to a certain degree. You know, I'm like, the question I ask is, how do you think this is going to happen for athletes? Do you think AI would happen for athletes? That's the question I have for y'all.
I didn't think about that, but that's
I don't know if that
I
would be
don't
as entertaining.
Like,
I
how
don't
would
know
that
I think it
work?
would.
You know,
how
could
I
that
think
be
it
a
would
thing
though.
Yeah.
or no?
I don't think
I
so.
think so.
Probably somewhere down the
think so.
line. I mean, they're probably gonna have like those AR, VR immersive experiences. Like they already came out with this VR video game where you can play quarterback and throw the ball and stuff like that. And it obviously doesn't look as good as it will in probably 10 years, but it could happen. But I know I'll be done playing football by then. So
If injuries
it is what
if
it
injuries
is.
in football keep becoming a thing, they may tap into it. I see what you're saying. If injuries become a thing like that, they may tap into it for sure.
That'd be interesting. I don't know. Nothing beats the experience of going into an
Yeah,
arena and seeing that
facts.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't been to a football game in a minute though, actually. So I gotta,
Yeah, no, we gotta get
Yeah,
you
got to
to
go to the Argos game while you in the
man.
summer in
Right
the
at
six in
home.
the summer for sure, bro.
We nice too,
I would
Shamier. We
love that.
nice.
I would love
They
that.
Way nicer than Jawan team.
No, you got to come
Rough
to that
Riders.
Halifax game. I'm out in Saskatchewan, so but hey, we're good. But we play Toronto and Halifax. I don't know if you've ever been out to
Love
Halifax, but
Halifax.
apparently it's a fun. So that game's coming up in a couple weeks. If you got time on your schedule, we would
Hey,
love to
I
have
did a
you.
TV show called
You get a
Trailer
pig.
Park Boys in Halifax.
I know that
Yeah, yeah,
show. You were on
I
that?
was, man. I played Sammy OG.
I gotta go
Dog
back and
guy.
look.
I have glasses the entire. Y'all should check it out.
I'm
God,
gonna check it out. Yo,
Yeah,
you have some versatility, man. You've been in everything.
yeah.
I tell you, them awards coming. I already know, boy. I already know.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
I gotta ask because we've mentioned his name a few times. He's obviously a Canadian boy. So Keanu
Mhm.
Reeves. You see a whole bunch of stories about his upbringing and things that he's been through. And one thing that I've always heard is he's a great dude. What was it like working with him on John Wick?
Yeah, man. Just a really nice guy, quiet guy, but a hard worker. You know, I think people hear and see what he does outside of the set. I met him at work, and he's focused. You know, locked in. He's a premium athlete. You know, in our world, in my world, which means he's like a Kobe Bryant. You know, he has that grace, but also he has that precision. You know, he's definitely been doing this for a long time. People forget, like, he's almost 60 years old, man. Keanu's up there. Yeah, he's almost 60 years old. So working with him, I got to learn a lot. You know, I got to see how a guy like that can still keep his composure, you know, under so much pressure and BS, because there's a lot of stuff that happens on set that's just you can't control.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and then I got to geek out, man. I was with Neo. Like, I always tell people, like, I take this stuff real seriously, but like when I'm offset, I'm geeking out. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I remember we came on set. Here's a fun story for y'all. So I got the job. I flew in. It was in Germany. We had the training. We go to a sound stage. It's really a big building with like movie stuff in it. So it's a dojo. They build like a little, you know, practice center for us to do martial arts and work out, and kind of like a training facility. And so I get in there, I walk in there, and everyone's training and doing their thing. And then this guy runs over and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, man? Shamier, nice to meet you. It's Keanu. I heard a lot about you. Welcome to the team, man. Welcome to the team." And then he left. I looked at my boy Derwin, who was my trainer, and I'm just like, Bro, there's a couple times where I'll be like doing my shit and I'll be looking over and I'm like, the fuck? That's Keanu Reeves, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's definitely like mind blowing at times. And it happens so fast. You go from like I watched the Matrix movie in theaters. No, that was I was so that movie came out while we were working together, but I watched Speed again before the movie. I had watched Speed like the week before, and like a week later, I'm with him. I'm just like, this is weird, you know? So yeah, the guy's just nuts. It's still even to this day, like, you know, doing the press with him and touring the world with him on the press tour. Like I'm still like, they'd be like, what are you looking at, Shamier? What do you want, man? And then one day on set, he's like, hey, Mr. Anderson. I'm like, you can't do that, Keanu.
That's sick. That's sick.
Mr. Anderson. I'm like, nah, you can't. You understand? Like it's a mind fuck. You can't do that, man. But it's dope, man. That's definitely Halle Berry, Keanu Reeves. I still get very starstruck over. I'm very much like those are icons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our parents know these people. You know what I mean? Exactly. So it's definitely iconic for sure.
It's true. And like what the first time your parents saw you on the big screen, what was that like?
My mom is a Jamaican woman.
You gotta give me an accent or something.
Things I say. Am I boy that? Are you that? Are you that?
Yeah.
The one movie my mom loved was a comedy I did called Love Jacked. Love Jacked is a comedy where I played opposite Mike Epps, Marla Gibbs, Keith David. Even some of these names are like iconic.
That's crazy.
It was a romantic comedy where I played a fake African by the name of Mutombe. His name is Mutombe, and he's faking and telling everybody he's African because he's on the run. I mean, he's not really African. So my mom loves that shit. And so she went to that movie, I'll never forget, like 8 times, you know, to watch it with all her friends and family. And that movie, that's when she really that's when I'm like, wow, my mom really, she loves this, you know. And that was the first time that I felt that. But I did a movie. The first ever big movie was a movie called Race, where it's about Jesse Owens, the Olympic runner.
Mm-hmm.
My brother played Jesse Owens, and I played the rival runner, Ulysses Peacock. And at the time, no one knew we were brothers, and we just got casted in the same movie at the same time. And so my mom got to experience that. She came on set, went to New York, and that was something that was really special for our family.
That's like the two. I don't know if you're an NFL fan, but like the Kelsey brothers playing in the Super Bowl together, like that must have been a crazy experience for her. Yeah. But you know, this is a question that we ask everybody that we interview. Just looking back on everything, what's a piece of advice that you would give a 18-year-old Shamier Anderson?
Piece of advice. Give 18-year-old Shamier Anderson. I would say to him, keep going. You're doing all the right things, and don't be so hard on yourself. You know, I was very hard on myself at 18. I'm hard on myself now, and I think, you know, in 10 years from now, the older version is going to tell this version, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, I think it just comes from the place of like coming from nothing and then getting to something and not wanting to lose that something. And I feel like a lot of folks that look like us as Black men can relate to a certain degree, because a lot of us get thrusted into Hollywood, show business, athletics, you know, with the money and success and clout. And you go from like, it's jarring almost, you know what I mean? And I just think for me, it was like making sure when I was at 18, don't fuck up, keep going harder, but just going like, man, don't be so hard on yourself. So that'd probably be the advice right now in this moment, you know?
That's a solid piece of advice.
Hell yeah.
And for the listeners, the fans, the Shamier Anderson, the John Wick fans, if you've made it this far, there's a question I've been dying to ask. Do you think John Wick is dead?
Oh no. Okay. No, I can deny.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, so it's open for interpretation. Any roles in the future that you're excited about that you could possibly share? Anything that you're working on before we wrap this interview up?
Right now, I'm just kind of, you know, a couple things in the orbit. I was gonna do a movie, you know, with this. You know, I can't say that now. I'm just gonna say it because now I already led with this. What was I gonna do? I was supposed to be in Alabama doing a movie with Matthew McConaughey today, but you know, I just felt creatively just didn't make sense for me. So I decided to stay in Toronto, enjoying the summer, focusing on my DJing. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm going to extend an invite this summer, and really, really working that side of my repertoire, which I'm really excited about, man. Coming to an Argos game, bro. That's what I want to do this summer.
Yeah.
Trying to come out,
For sure.
No immediate
Yeah.
movies right now, but I'm just trying to live life and come to the game and,
Yeah.
have a great summer, man. We got to enjoy the fruits of our labor sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
We're gonna turn up.
Yeah, live it up. If you were in Alabama, you were gonna be in Cam's backyard, so I'm sure he would have been excited about
good.
that.
Next time. I love Alabama.
Next time, let me know.
Most definitely.
No, but
Shamier, before I let you go, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for coming on here, man. This was amazing. Probably better than we ever expected. I like what you said about, Black people having to stick together. So shout out to my boy Curly, because Curly actually was getting tickets to the Maple Leafs game, and I was just out there training. We was just out there training in the off season together. He asked me if I wanted to go, and usually I'm not a big hockey fan or nothing like that. So, but something was telling me, yeah, man, like get out the house and go do something. And sure enough, man, we bump into each other, and now we on here talking on the Athlete Show, man. So appreciate you for coming through. Last thing I want to ask you though, or if you want to give to the people, one Shamier Anderson movie or show besides John Wick that you would recommend people go see that you feel like is one of your best.
Yeah, one movie. Thank you for that. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys having me on this. You guys do such an exquisite job. You guys are really, really talented, and I really mean that, man. This is important, and I'm looking forward to you guys getting that big deal, $100 million deal. And I'm manifesting it for y'all. All I ask is let me come back. That's all I ask.
Come back anytime.
But the one movie I'm really proud of, and thank you for asking, is a great question because no one ever asks that. It's a movie I did about two fathers, one of them being a stepfather, one being a biological father. And the biological father comes back into the kid's life many, many years later, and the stepfather has to deal with that. It's called Bruiser. And Bruiser, I starred opposite Trevante Rhodes, who was in Moonlight and played Mike in the Mike Tyson series on Hulu, opposite Jalen. Jalen played Till in the movie, Emmett Till that just came out recently. And so that's a film that I'm really proud of, man. I played a dad from Alabama who worked at a car dealership, the stepfather trying to make a way from no way. I transformed physically, mentally, emotionally for that role. But ultimately, it's a love story of Black men who want to be fathers. You know what I mean? We always hear about fathers, Black men being absent as fathers, and this is a great movie because you get to see two fathers want to love their son. It's a gritty film. It's a cool film. It's on Disney Hulu, and I'd love for y'all to check that out because I'm really proud of that.
For sure.
Definitely. That sounds great. And I've been looking for some Netflix recommendations, so I'm glad you said that. But we appreciate your time. Admire everything that you're doing. We think that you have a very bright future. You always have a home here on the Athlete Show, so whenever you want to pull up, you can co-host with us, do whatever you want. The door is open. And we just look forward to seeing, all the cool things that you're doing. Make sure you post your DJ sets so we can see what you're working with. And for everybody, Athlete Nation, thank you for all your support, all the views, the likes, the subscriptions. Keep that coming because we're just getting started. And Shamier, that's all we got. Appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, baby, it feels so good.
Man, JB, I've been in the gym lately, man, trying to get ready for this shoot for my new plus-size modeling gig. Any healthy snacks I can turn to?
Honestly, I just got a whole shipment of these RiceWorks chips. Tavares, you want to tell Cam about them?
Yeah, Cam. These RiceWorks chips are gluten-free, cholesterol-free, celiac-friendly, vegan, non-GMO certified, and made with whole grain rice. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a big chip guy, and these is competing with some of the best chips I've ever had. And they healthy.
I ate a whole bag today.
You can go to their website at riceworks.com and head to the Where to Buy tab, plug in your postal or zip code, and the website will generate the closest stores near you that carry your favorite RiceWorks snacks.
Might as well get on it.
Definitely gonna try RiceWorks.
You won't regret it.